Thank you so much, Divya, for sharing the film with us, and being here for the conversation. I mean, I think it's a really interesting film. This whole uh, uncontrolled desire to become a celebrity and to get away from the humdrum of life comes across so strongly, whether it is on social media or, to become a film star. And that kind of dream is there in so many youngsters in our country. So I was just wondering, Divya, is that I'll ask you a few questions and then open it up to the audience. But yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not clear. Is it clear now? Okay, I'll try. So, can you tell us how you zoned in on Mayur? Because you all were studying together, I gather, or you all were in the same college. But how did you get him as a character? I'm sure there were many others also who were doing these kind of videos. What did you see in him that you thought you could weave a story around?
4 months, the anecdotes he used to share about his family was very much fascinating to me. I was like, I haven't seen a mom like this. I haven't seen a father like this. I haven't seen a brother like this. I would like to have them on camera. And the first day I go, they were just the best. Like Mayur was the most difficult part, I'll say, and he's still the most difficult subject to convince. His family were the best. They were on from day one. They were like, "Ah, picture banana, ha, banao, banao." They were very open to it. It was just me letting Mayur open up his life because it's also difficult. I get it because it's his personal life, how much he wants to show it, how much he doesn't want to. So at first he was very a bit adamant on things, but then eventually once we started to film it and once we started to develop that rapport, then he was quite comfortable. But till the end, till the film was finally made and it went to some festival, he was not confident at all. He didn't believe in me at all. He was like, "What are you doing? Why are you investing so much time? What do you like?" All the questions. Why are you shooting me? He used to get conscious most of the times. So it was a constant journey. But with a simple answer, it was because Mayur was my friend first.
Yeah, and actually, that comes across very strongly. The fact that the family knows you so well, because the way they look at you, the way they engage with you is so nice.
Sorry, hello.
Rachik,
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I lost you, I guess.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
I
I can
said
hear you.
your relationship with the family is something very, very interesting in the film. The way they engage with you, they're looking off camera and they kind of make eye contact with you is fascinating because it's, a filmmaker is not just somebody who's making the film. He or she is very involved, closely involved with the subjects. And one scene really stands out for me is the one after he comes back home, after he colors his hair. So
Yeah.
there are two things that I liked, and I like the way you did it. One is by keeping yourself outside the room, and not entering that space. You allowed that conflict to kind of unfold without, them being conscious of the camera, and having the scenes where Mayur clearly expresses that he's not happy with y'all filming him, because these are important things. So I was just wondering, in the sense of what are the complexities when you film people so closely and you look at their good things but also the not so good things, so how did you negotiate with that in the process of making the film, including editing
Yeah,
and things like that?
it was a constant conversation throughout the making of the film. When we were shooting it, when it was being edited, we were constantly keeping on communicating. I was there involved very much with the family from day one. But it was Mayur who was a bit of a challenge to convince and communicate. But sometimes I used to tell him this is important for the film. Maybe like you eventually if you don't like it, we'll remove it from the film. Eventually, if you say that it's not, I don't want to show this, then we'll remove it. That was my part as a filmmaker. And as far as like me staying out of the room, and so there's also one thing is this was my first longer length film. Like I was doing short form content, but this was my first longer length film. And I did not know any notions or any things that are kept in mind by a documentary filmmaker or by anyone in that. I'm saying I didn't have any notions. I just was figuring out how to make a film. It was like I was figuring out on the go. Camera भी जो available था वो उससे हम shoot करते थे. The mic also was Mayur's mic from which it was recorded. So I was figuring out a lot of things, and these used to be constant conversations. So the time when this thing happened, when the conflict of this situation happened, I, as the filmmaker or as a person, was myself frightened by the sheer audacity, by how his mother was shouting at him and how the conflict was unfolding. So I was very much frightened. I couldn't step in. I was like, I can't cross this boundary at all. That was just not the filmmaker inside me. It was just the person inside me. And I was scared. And therefore, I gave the camera to my DOP at that moment. Earlier, I was having it, and then I gave it to my DOP. I was like, I am getting out of this. I am just scared. Then I stepped out, and then eventually we also chose to keep the part where Mayur says, I don't want to be part of this documentary, because I feel it's very important to kind of engage in this, because it's what makes it a documentary. That is what fascinates me more interestingly, and how I also am intervening into his space and being like a voyeur kind of a person, but at the same time how it is affecting him. So I wanted to for my character to have a presence in the film in some or the other way. So these were the choices, and then in the edit we kind of shaped these choices.
Okay, that's nice to hear your views.
Yes.
So, can you tell us? You're very young, right? How old are you right now?
Right now I just turned 24.
Wow. So when did
I was
you?
22 when I made the film.
22. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 22 when I completed the film, 19 when I started it.
Wow,
So it's been
fantastic.
long. Yeah.
Fantastic. That's quite a. You have a very mature way of looking at life, Divya. And I read that in the Hindu interview that you're at FTI, Film Institute?
I'm a student now at the FTI. I was like, I need to get back to some learning, and there's some stuff I need to learn on. So yeah, I'm giving a year to myself to learn more about the craft, and just because I've not been to a film school till now. I was just a media student, and that doesn't teach you much.
Yeah.
So I got the admission. So I was like, yeah, let's go and learn something.
Excellent. So I'll open it up to the audience. There's already a question.
Yay, thank you.
No, there will be many. Keep it close.
Hi, I'm Radhika Mata, and thank you so much for making this film. My question to you is, at what point did you decide that it was okay to include the entire Byju's track of the person making those cold calls, securing those, leads and qualified leads, and then also entering somebody else's space? So what I'm trying to understand from you is, what made you decide that you are choosing to follow that track as well? What kind of allowed you, what made you get permissions from the people that he was visiting, the quality lead?
Right.
And did you have to also approach Byju's as an employer to get their permissions in order to get this thing? The word is not getting outside this room. But yeah, just for our understanding.
Now I don't
Thanks.
care if it goes out. Now it's a bankrupt company. So now that's not a big problem. It was going to be a problem if Byju's was still a huge company. But now the ball is in my court. So the thing about this Byju's thing is, I did not plan anything but I knew that my teammates used to always ask me, when are you ending the film? When are you stopping the film? Because we had been filming it for over a year, and they had this constant conversation with me as to when I was going to end it. But I had this gut feeling, and I trust my gut and instincts a lot, that it told me that just stay there, just be there. And then eventually Mayur joined Byju's. It was not that I chanced upon this. He joined Byju's, and then I was like, okay, now I need to follow him with this track also. But as far as the permissions and everything is concerned, with the people whose homes I used to visit, we used to tell them that he's a member from Bangalore who has come to just film you, and he'll be there. आपके साथ रहेगा. It was just one house that because with things like this, I couldn't like my film couldn't afford to take permission from Byju's, and the side that I'm showing of Byju's, they won't be okay with this. Yeah. The fact is that they won't be okay with this about them about them telling their employees the way they work. So they won't be okay with that. So first thing is that, and we didn't have the budgets to get in. So all the songs that you're hearing are also like the songs that TikTok songs that you're hearing. Those were like original songs, but if you would have put them out, we like the budget would have increased like हमारा पूरा खर्चा निकल जाता था. So we recreated those songs from the scratch because we knew that this was the way. And as far as that family that I have captured in the last moment, it was like we told them that he's an observer who has come from Bangalore और ये बस आपका shooting करेगा, आपको चलेगा. That was the only thing that we asked. And I didn't say a word at that moment when it was happening. Mayur was the only one who was talking to them. I was there just as an observer.
So
Yeah.
I found
hope that
it
answers your question.
I found it I'll say it quickly. I found it interesting because what he was doing with the Byju's and what he did on TikTok was also about selling. No, both are trying to sell something which may not be real. Sorry, any more questions?
Yeah, and that's I did not think of that irony coming into the picture. जो बच्चा टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ पहले एक पॉइंट पे फोन के साथ इतना ऑब्सेस्ड है, वो इवेंचुअली जाकर फोन के अगेंस्ट कुछ बेच रहा है. And he's like that I couldn't predict or I didn't expect that thing to happen at all. Yeah. But it was just like how life is, and like there are some magical things that happen, and you just need to trust the process. And I was then eventually thankful that I trusted my gut and went with it.
Okay, hi, am I audible to you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my question is, I understand that the TikTok ban was unexpected, right? So what was your objective of the documentary before the TikTok ban happened? Because I understand that this has actually changed the narrative line of your documentary in itself. But what was the idea that you went with when you like started off? What was the side you wanted to show? Something I want to know.
Yeah, so I was very clear that the film wasn't going to be an academic approach towards TikTok. That was for sure. Because I was not interested in that. There are a lot of documentaries that are there on the world of social media. I was very much intrigued by the fact that why are people in this country obsessed with TikTok? Why are kids changing their hair colors? Why are they wearing something that they want to wear? This was what fascinated me. And that was my investigation through the film. Okay. And sorry, what was the next part?
I asked you, the ban was unexpected, so it changed the narrative of the documentary.
Yeah. So with regards to the ban thing, there were some things in my mind. Like actually, before the ban happened, Mayur had started to get disillusioned because we were just graduating at that moment of time. So by the conversations that we had off camera, I started to get to know that he's kind of getting disillusioned by this world, and reality is kind of striking him. Like after you graduate, there's some pressure that you need to earn, and because of the family he comes from, there was at least some expectation from his end. So I had started to see that feeling creeping inside him. There was something in mind that like getting the followers or not, that was one thing. The one thread that I had in my mind was Mayur starts in TikTok, and then eventually does he get his eventual goal is, does he become a famous TikToker or not? That was the goal. And in the process, I figured out that he started to get disillusioned a bit. So I was going to follow that. And there was this sequence that, during this period, we were also applying to various grants. And so you have to send them a note of what you are expecting the storyline to be. So I had written that he wishes to be an actor, and he starts preparing monologues and all those things. But then all those things, like just I had planned those things, but they didn't happen at all. And then it was just not like, then whatever I shot, I really got good material out of it. So I was like, yeah, this is what it is, and not as to what I have thought about what it should be. So that's also the joy and the fun of the process of documentaries is you can't predict a lot of things. And the ban came in, and then it changed the picture altogether.
Okay, I just have one last question. Is Mayur on Instagram right now doing reels?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not doing reels. So apparently he's now earning a lot of money. He left Byju's some time back, and he has bought a car. They have shifted into a new house, and like it's now the family is now. I guess in the next 2-3 years, if he doesn't get married, I'll pitch to his house to his mom. अरे आंटी बहुत टाइम हो गया आपके बच्चे ने शादी नहीं की आपको लगता नहीं शादी होनी चाहिए. So I'll be the one to say this to his mom. And hopefully he'll get married in the next 2-3 years, but he's now doing quite well. Like he's now at a sales company only. He's now selling flats to people.
Flags. Flags.
Flats.
Oh, apartments. Okay.
Yeah, apartment. But he's doing quite well now in terms of money.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations for making such an on-point film at such an early stage of your career, and I love the editing style and how it was made, the approach to it. I have two questions. One is like for a documentary filmmaker, sometimes they can get a lot of footage. How did you decide what not to keep in this movie? Because it's very tight, the narrative, and it's really engaging. And the second question is, like, what has been your journey post making this documentary? Like, how have you, because I'm surprised I've not heard of this documentary, even in major festivals. So what kind of a struggle has been to get it to the audience, and like, what learnings are there from there? Yeah.
Okay. The first question's answer. My editor is right besides me, and I'll give him the credit. We are editing a new film now, and we are working on that. And my editor is right besides me, so I'll ask him to answer this question. So the question is that
You'll have to introduce him.
Could you repeat the question? Sorry.
Hello.
Hello. Again,
Can you introduce yourself? Sorry. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Pranav Patil. So I am the editor of the film, and I'm also the editor of almost all of Divya's films since then. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Really great editing. It was quite engaging, the film. I wanted to ask, how did you decide on what portions not to keep in the film? I assume you had a lot of extra footage as well while shooting this. How did you decide what portions not to keep the narrative tight?
So I think that was actually the hardest part. It's always the hardest part for me. But it's also something that's quite important. It's in editing, they call it kill your darlings. And luckily, because Divya is in general, he is very excited about post-production and he's very involved in it. So it was practically like both of us were editing the film. So it wasn't just me. So the good thing about that was that, so Divya likes to do this thing where he would, so since we didn't have any deadline as such to finish the film, we could take as long as we wanted in the post-production. And because of that, what we would do is after every few months, I think every few significant cuts later, we would take a good long break, do some other work and whatnot, and then we would come back to the film. So what that gave us was sort of an objective point of view to look at it. I remember my first cut that I showed him was almost 1 hour, 47 minutes long, I think. So he was also, I think, traumatized by how long it was. But I think the first cut that I made with him was, I think, 1 hour, 17 minutes long. And once we reached that stage, after that, it was not too difficult to just like keep on working on it, keep on going back to it once in a while, and then thinking, okay, we can remove this, we can remove that, everything. And then once Hardik came on board, what happened was he brought in a perspective that we, like again, the sort of an objective point of view I'm talking about. So he had a more objective view, obviously, because he wasn't in the edit room. So I think towards the finishing process, I think we were able to cut down even 3-4 minutes more. So yeah, I think by the end of it, we were at 59 minutes, and then we decided to just fill it up with credits.
Yeah, very good, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hope that answers your first question. I'll answer the second question. So the thing is that as far as festivals are concerned, the film got rejected by most of the festivals. It's been to like some festivals, like the New York Indian Film Festival. It premiered over there. Then it went to like, it's been to 11, 12 festivals, but by most festivals, it's been rejected. But I also get it like now as to why they might have rejected it, because I feel this is an Indian film. This is made for the people of India, and it's very much, I don't know how much like an international audience will relate to this film. So, but it's been in India, it's been to a lot of places. Yeah. I don't know why. And it's also an independent film. It's a struggle for us independent filmmakers to find distribution. And it's a struggle till now. We haven't found a distribution for the film as of now. But if nothing happens, I'll release it on YouTube, yeah. Then you can please share it. Like if you liked it, please share it and like just ask people to watch it. And like we'll have some screenings. We have an Instagram page of the film, so you could just share the page and ask. We keep on posting about our screenings regularly. We are having a screening in Mumbai on the 6th of January. So if at all you have any friends in Mumbai, please recommend it to them. Yeah, that's the best way this could function. And कुछ नहीं हुआ तो यार YouTube is the best way to release it, because I don't, a movie is an option, but I don't think यार लोग देखते हैं movie. And so,
Yeah, YouTube
yeah, so I
is
would
the
like,
best. YouTube is the best.
yeah, yeah,
We'll
and
take.
it's also, it democratizes, no. So whenever it releases, you guys could spread the word.
So we'll take one last question if there is. Otherwise, we'll wind up. Oh yeah. Okay. Great.
Hi Divya, I'm Mudit and I have a couple of questions. So firstly, as documentary filmmakers, you have to be silent observers. But were there sequences which you directed, like the last sequence where Mayur is looking at some photographs? Was that directed like you prompted him to do that? And my second question is, what are your cinematic influences?
Okay. Two very difficult questions, but I'll try to answer. I'll try to answer the first one, Pele, and then I'll try to answer the next. As far as, did you feel it was did you feel it was scripted in any sense? Yes. Okay, you felt it that way. Okay, great. No, it wasn't at all. That moment is quite like just a gem of documentary filmmaking. But I'll tell you how I chanced upon it and why I trust my gut a lot. It's because we were doing a photo shoot. I was helping Mayur do some photo shoots, and my DOP, we were shooting in a place in Mumbai. So Mayur stays in Kurla. We were shooting in Airoli, and I stay in Thane. So Airoli and Thane are close by. We were shooting in Airoli. We are doing his model photo shoot, and it wraps up at 10:30 or 11 in the night. And what happens is my DOP says, "Let's go home," but I don't know why. It was just this calling that told me, ki, no, today is not the day to go home. Today is the day to go to his home. So we shot his model photo shoot. Everything happened. And then I had to make up a reason for him to tell that I'm coming to your house. So, because he's like, it's going to be so late. It's going to be 12:30 till the time we reach. I'm like, no, but hard disk, I need, I have to take my hard disk back. So I'll transfer the footage to your laptop and then take the hard disk back and go home. So I had the camera with me. And then whatever happens in the moment, I went to his house and I just shot it. I did not know with any intention. I did not have any intentions at that period of time. But there was this gut feeling that you need to go and just shoot. I went, I shot it. In the next week with the editor, when I sat, we knew that was the end of the film. And like, it's not at all scripted. It's not at all. It's like, it has happened in reality. अगर दूसरे कुछ चीजें हैं, but मैं नहीं बताऊंगा तुम लोगों को. But this moment is not scripted for sure. What I can reveal is the drone shots of the film are scripted. Like eventually, what happened was chalo, ye main ek reveal. This is one thing I'll like to reveal to you guys. Is that the drone scenes? I never observed the park when it was occupied with a lot of people. Uh, from the aerial point of view. But when I went after the TikTok ban, it was empty. I was like, oh damn, this is great. This is visually so good. And just the circles coming, and that idea just popped into my mind. I told my DOP to carry his drone. We shot it, and we shot it inversely, like the drone. Like the last shot of the film is the one we took for पहले, और जो बाकी के starting में दो आते हैं, वो हमने बाद में लिए. So for that, because TikTok was banned and eventually people were not much coming to the park, so we arranged like a 150-200 people crew on that period. We put out like, this is an independent film, please help support us. I shared it because I have good influencer friends. I told them to share it. So we got like 500, 600 DMs. Then through that, we made a list of 150 to 200 people. And then we shot that sequence of the drone shots because we needed the crowd. So yeah, this is one thing that I could let you guys with. And as far as influences are concerned, yeah, there are a lot of influences. I like a lot of filmmakers. But for this film, there was my co-producer itself, Hardik Mehta. His film called Ahmedabad Ma Famous was one great influence. Then Emir Kusturica's Underground was one great influence for us. So those two were primarily, and Borat also can be one influence that I can say. But as far as filmmaking is concerned, I am like very much interested in all types of films, like right from Wes Anderson to Bong Joon-ho to like Satyajit Ray to Abbas Kiarostami's Close Up. I like a lot of them. Like Close Up is one of my favorite films. And there's this brilliant film which you must watch is The Band's Visit, which I really love. Yeah. So there are a lot of influences. यार ऐसा एक इसमें boil down नहीं कर सकते. But film के लिए अहमदाबाद में famous and Underground and Borat. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm done.
Huh? What is the
Sorry
last
for
film?
the long answer.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. They want to know which is the last film that you mentioned. The last one which you really liked, which
The
you
Band's Visit.
The Band's
The Band's
Visit.
Visit. It's there on YouTube. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's a small watch, like a 70-minute film,
Okay.
but like it's really well made.
Okay, so I'm sorry, but we've completely run out of time. And
Uh-huh.
thank you, thank you so much, Divya. That, you know, I think you're also such a charming person to have on in the conversation. It was really lovely and interesting film, lovely film. So we look forward to screening more of your films when you make them. Once you're out of
Yes,
FTI,
for sure.
yeah, at Vikalp. Thank you
Yes,
so
yes,
much,
for
and
sure, for sure.
and good luck. All our very best. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Please share. Please put the word out if
Yeah,
you like
thanks.
the film.
Thank
It would be
you.
great. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.